We're back. Excessive celebration. Bill Bell,
Feel-
Scott O.
Feeling the funk.
That is almost a little George Clinton Parliament funkadelic.
Get those bell bottoms on.
Give me a big old nice afro
There
working.
you go.
Watch a little Karen Valentine on room 222. Maybe put Love Boat on and see what's happening with Captain Stubing and the crew. What's happening, Isaac? Oh yeah, we're a sports show. We are a sports show, aren't we?
Debatable at this point.
Sports, comedy, enlightenment, entertainment. At least that's how we see it.
Yeah.
I'm entertained. I'm not entertaining, but I'm entertained. Bill, I don't know about you, but I find some of the goings and comings and going ons in Frisco, Texas around the Star to be quite fascinating right now. We've got the first game under their belt in terms of the preseason game, which was underwhelming. And you got Ezekiel Elliott sitting out, requesting 32 million. And you made the point that you thought a journeyman quarterback could do a lot of the work for Dallas. I don't completely disagree with that, but the one they've got now just requested $40 million a year, which would pay him $5 million more than Russell Wilson's making as the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Not worth it.
Tell me what's happening in Dallas. And oh, by the way, they didn't look that good. They had red zone issues last year.
Right.
They looked lethargic, but I'll tell you what, I thought Ballard looked pretty good. I thought Gallup looked pretty good. But you know who was the most impressive guy in a short amount of time on that field that I saw?
Who is that?
For the 49ers, the young man started his career off as a running back in the SEC and then moved to wide receiver for the Baylor Bears. Jalen Hurd
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
force in that one.
Smartest-
He looked good.
Smartest business move he decided on was, yep, I'm not going to play running back anymore. I'm going wide receiver. And for as tall as he is, good choice.
Oh, just very impressive. So, what are your thoughts on what's happening in Dallas, Bill?
And I know it's going to be hard when I ask you this question. So take the names off of it. I'm giving you running back A, I'm giving you wide receiver B, and I'm giving you quarterback C. And you go through the same stats. And so you got running back who has led the league.
Oh no, I know where this is going. Can I tell you the answer,
Okay,
Bill?
tell me the answer.
Jerry Jones made a statement that if everybody would just hold together, that he was going to pay each of these guys a top 5 salary. Okay, that was his commitment to Cooper, to Prescott, and to Zeke. Right?
And lose everybody on defense is what you're going to do with that.
Bill, only one of those 3 guys deserves top 5 money, and it happens to be the guy that's sitting out.
And I am one of the people or few people that believe in when you find a star, especially at running back, because there's so few stars at running back, you pay the man. At least on the first and second, maybe possibly the third, depending on the running back. Possibly the third. At that point, it's real iffy, but possibly the third contract.
But can I just real quick question? Because I
Yeah.
don't, I thought about what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and I think you're right. My question is, what leverage does he have? Why didn't he do this next year? Because he's still 2 years away.
Well, the leverage is Le'Veon Bell sitting out, being traded. That I think, and it's a horrible precedent. I think that has set a precedent for the league, not just with running backs, but with all players, mostly position players that I can see doing this. Maybe some linebackers occasionally. That if I set out and I demand things, or I think of this, even though he signed somewhere else for a cheaper contract, if Le'Veon Bell comes out and kills it next year, tell me the Jets won't try and rework a deal for him to make him a higher paid running back in the league.
Oh, I think they will.
I don't think you can make that argument that they wouldn't try to do that, especially with the team that's up and coming.
And with young
or supposedly,
quarterbacks.
yeah, up and coming with the Jets. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know that Dak, and there's too many options you have with Dak because you still have him for another year. Then you can franchise tag him. There's too many options you can play around with Dak.
Tell me why he's been more productive than Tony Romo, because I don't see it, Bill.
I don't either. I don't either. I'll be honest. A lot of people hated Romo, and I don't know why. I like Tony Romo as a quarterback. He was, I mean, outside of what the problems in the postseason, which you can blame on him, or you can blame on the actual team, or maybe the head coach in general, who, quite frankly, probably shouldn't be a head coach.
I think everybody remembers Romo dropping the ball on the the extra point.
Yeah.
And I think it's clouded people's judgment of him from then on.
And then what's funny is he's kind of redeemed himself as an announcer.
Yeah.
He's probably the best announcer.
He's without a doubt. But it's interesting because everybody loves Prescott, but has he taken them further? I don't think he has.
I don't think he's
in the first round.
I don't think he's proven anything.
I don't think he wants to be the highest paid.
The best part about Dak Prescott is he's kind of a no-nonsense quarterback, right? So he doesn't draw attention to himself. He doesn't. He's perfect for that situation because when you had like Dez and Ezekiel there, they drew the attention and took all the focus off of Dak, and he can kind of perform. So if he shined in the game, it was like, oh well, we're going to go talk to Dak now because of what he did. But when he doesn't, all those questions that you would normally get with say like a Cam Newton, they're not there as much or as hard hitting as they would be for Cam Newton when he doesn't perform.
Right.
So yeah. I'm still under the impression you pay Ezekiel, then you go after Amari. I don't believe Amari is a top 5.
I don't either. I don't either. It's almost like they're trying to. He just wants to bring everybody in and make it all okay. And only one of those guys deserves the money from a top 5.
Well, and especially this day and age with guaranteed contracts. So if I give you $80 million and I guarantee you 75, you're not going to be happy with that. Like the guaranteed money, I think, is more important to a lot of these guys, more so than what the contracts actually were. So if I'm giving you $50 million, but I'm only guaranteeing you $5 million, or if I'm giving you $50 million, but I'm guaranteeing you $45 million, you're going to take the other $45 million. I mean, that's an easy choice. So the day and age of you're only getting X amount of dollars for low pay, and then it's after that we could cut you and we don't have to pay you the rest of your $35 million. It's changed a lot of the dynamic of who you sign and how much you pay. I think there's still a lot of overpaying for players out there, Kirk Cousins, but I think you have to do it in some such situations. Now, do I pay Amari like a 5? No, I pay Amari like he's a 8 to 10 guy, maybe possibly a 7 guy, but I don't pay him in the top 5.
My only concern is if I'm paying a running back $32 million a year.
Right.
My question is, what is the likelihood that he's going to be there long enough to pay off with production? And if I have to ride him to death, how long of a career does he have as I'm doling out money that, frankly, if it was to a quarterback or a wide receiver or somebody else, when you look at the lifespan of an NFL player, running backs are about 2.5 years on average. I have a hard time sinking that kind of money, even at the top 5 position, because I think the conundrum, Bill, is do I ride him like a DeMarco Murray or do I limit carries, and then am I limiting my return on my investment? It's a tough spot when you're talking running backs in the NFL.
I think there's ways in what Zeke has proven in his 3 years. He's always there. So
except he's not.
Yeah, except he's sitting out. You can limit it a little bit, right? So you can limit it as far as how many touches or how many handoffs he gets, or running plays, or true running plays, up the gut plays, stuff like that. But you still find ways outside of the box to get him the ball to where maybe he doesn't take as many big time hits. You get him around some corners where he's going to overpower some corners. He's going to be delivering a lot of those blows unless you get a linebacker who's a freak out there that can
Yeah.
run 4-1, which most of them all do
But
now.
I mean, do you even want him blocking? That's what I'm talking about. You're paying a guy that kind of money who's playing a position that is just so fragile. That to me is it's fascinating, Bill. How do you craft a team and how do you keep it together? But I'm more inclined every day to agree with you that
Well,
it starts right there with him.
I think if Jerry Jones listened to the show a little bit more, he would finally figure out how to win a Super Bowl and craft a team,
There you go.
or at least make a great flambe.
Flambeau. Isn't there a field up in Wisconsin? Flambeau Field?
Lightly salted with snow.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Are we done talking about the Cowboys, Bill?
I think everybody's done talking about the Cowboys.
When we come back, going to have a brief moment to speak about the passing of a legend around here, both at the high school and college level. We'll talk about next week's show. Some of the things we didn't get to today will fit right in next week. Bill, Crossover Radio, tell them about it.
Well, first we need to catch that alien that's running around in the studio. Then after that, we're going to go to the Play Store and download that app. Find us on Facebook, Excessive Celebration. Also Twitter, Excessive Celebration. Add us at EC Sports Show. And we might have a poll question of the day. Just for you. Listener, that guy right there, that guy.
Oh, that one?
That one. Get that app.
Rocklahoma returns. I like that heavy duty stuff. You know, heavy duty is what we're going to deal with next week. On next week's show, we're going to do our Keep Your Enemies Closer segment on Oklahoma and Oklahoma State's upcoming opponents. That would be. Go ahead.
I thought we were getting them gains. You said we were lifting heavy lifting.
Joanna games?
No, getting them gains, pumping iron.
No, not happening around here.
Yeah.
Not at my house.
Well, you can tell by our beautiful physiques.
Sizzled. Bill, next week we'll be 1 week away from the football season, week 0 schedule, which I found fascinating that we have week 0. But we've got a matchup in Florida and then a matchup out west. We'll touch on that, and we'll talk about week 1 schedule, which is chock full of exciting football. And speaking of chock full of exciting football, Crossover Sports is coming in just a couple of weeks and will be the home of Putnam City High School Pirate football. You can still catch the Broncos on Crossover Radio. All that's coming your way. And Bill, time to take a little break here. You know, we have a lot of fun. We talk football. We kid each other a little bit about what teams we like and which ones we don't. But the state of Oklahoma, Oklahoma University, and Carl Albert lost a star today, and Mike Gaddis. Mike Gaddis passes away at the age of 50. Mike was a superstar at Carl Albert. Mike was a great player at Oklahoma. He happened to be playing at OU at the same time that Barry Sanders was at Oklahoma State. Otherwise, he may have been one of the more shining stars. He just happened to take a slight backseat to Sanders. Got hurt the year Sanders went on to the NFL, and had he not gotten hurt, I think he was at least a finalist for the Heisman that year. But we've lost Mike to kidney failure, I believe. And it's a sad day for not just Sooner Nation, but anyone that was touched by his playing style, his good nature. He was a man of faith, and we'll miss you, Mike. And thanks for the memories, Bill. I'm not great at this, but it's tough to lose somebody like that.
I would agree.
All we can do is be thankful for the opportunity to watch these people play. try to live the best that we can, and hopefully leave legacies that matter. And I think that's certainly the case for Mike Gaddis. Now, as we mentioned, sports are supposed to be fun. And Bill, the last thing I'm going to leave you with here, and then we'll
You're
turn it over to
leaving
you
me?
for your final thoughts here.
You're leaving me?
Bill, keep your car clean inside and out. Can I tell you why?
Why is that?
I have a very short little Breaking Bad vignette, and this is kind of a neat one because
Oh, John Jones, turn up your radio.
John Jones,
John
turn up your radio.
Bones Jones.
All right. Bill, do you know who the Georgia State quarterback Shea Wertz is? Shea Wertz was driving his car through Clinton, Georgia, and was stopped by the local Georgia police for speeding. Billy was on his way to his grandmother's house. The young man was handcuffed and put in the backseat of the police car, which I don't know about you. I've been stopped for speeding and don't ever remember a time when I was handcuffed and put in the back of a police car. Furthermore, one of the policemen approached his car and saw a white slimy substance on the hood of the car, walked back and asked Shea if that was cocaine. Shea responded, "No, it's bird droppings." The sheriff said, "No, it isn't, because I've just tested it and it came out pink. It's cocaine." Shea said, "No, it isn't. It's bird droppings. I noticed it and tried to wipe it off at the gas station." The officer said, "You're wrong. It's cocaine." He was then arrested, spent the weekend in jail, was suspended from the Georgia State football team until sometime today, when at his hearing, the judge came out and said, "You know what? That was bird droppings on the hood of your car. We're sure sorry about that, sir. Hope you have a nice day, and don't forget to send us Christmas cards." To the local sheriff in Clinton, Georgia. How unbelievable is that story, Bill,
So,
in 2019?
moral of this story, there's a bird out there that is all juiced up on cocaine that needs to be stopped.
Oh, man. I am so glad I did not get out in front of that story with you because I never saw that dropping.
He's on the loose.
He's certainly on the loose,
He's
is the way to put it.
He's on a bender right now.
He's on a fender right now.
Looking for some ruffles or something to eat, surely. That that's to even notice it. So it's got to be a decent sized bird
Yes.
dropping,
And
right?
where else would you keep your cocaine?
Well, you'd have to ask this bird because I don't know.
The car.
Right? So, yeah, that's pretty remarkable, I guess. I mean, I don't know what in his mind. So, do we know how long he stayed in jail
Bill,
or was held? I guess.
multiple hours, and it's all on the. You can pull it up.
Oh,
there's a dash cam that shows the whole thing playing out.
Is he mic'd up?
The cop is.
You know what would have made this 100 times better?
You're going to tell me.
If they were on live PD.
It's a shame they weren't.
Let's go out to Georgia. No, they're bird droppings.
It was unbelievable. It just floored me that that's what people still deal with. So when we sit around sometimes and say, "Oh, well, this is how it really is," live that life. Get stopped for speeding, get cuffed, thrown into the back of the car, and have somebody tell you that bird excrement is cocaine, because most people would carry their cocaine on the hood of their car.
That reminds me, I need to test my wife's side of her car, because, man, this bird painted a mural on the side of her back passenger door.
I hope it spelled out something other than an O and a U.
It It did. It's just a Jackson Pollock painting just right.
Oh, excellent. Wow.
I don't know if she knows, and I'm just kidding about the testing part, but I don't know if she knows it's there, and I just leave it alone. I'm like, sure, she's got to see it. I hope it's still there.
It's just the artwork.
Yeah.
Jackson Pollock, man, you are throwing some knowledge my way. He's a cartoonist, right? Doesn't he be a cartoonist? Yeah. Do we have a local actor, Ed Harris, play him?
I believe he was. Well,
Kevin Pollock's dad.
he also holds my balloon in the Macy's Day Parade.
Sweet. Is that the litter balloon underneath
Yeah.
our?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that. I'm gonna hang out with Underdog, which I do every Friday from 4:30 to 6:30 here on Excessive Celebration on Crossover Radio. About to be Crossover Sports.
Guess what?
Tell me.
Poll question of the day.
Yes.
If you're Jerry Jones, if you're Jerry Jones, which player do you pay first? Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott. Actually, take that back. Scratch that. Is Dak?
Everybody's confused now. I don't know what to do.
Scratching it. We're bird pooping on it. Is Dak Prescott worth $40 million? That should be simple. Oh no, there's going to be some Cowboy fan. Yes, 40 plus.
Yeah.
One Cowboy fan, I guarantee it. One Cowboy fan.
It'll be Neil or Dale and Burt Burnett. Burt Burnett, Texas, up there just on this side of Wichita Falls. Maybe in Possum Kingdom.
We'll
find one.
It'd be really ironic, or really funny at least, is Dak come out and light it up this year and become the MVP and then lead him to a Super Bowl. Yeah, he's worth $40 million. That's all we'll be saying next year.
Yeah, I never doubted it.
Never doubted it.
Never doubt anything, anywhere, unless you're a freewheeling, free thought person.
I'm just covering both sides so I can go back later and edit this clip one way or the other.
That's the beauty of editing. We're never wrong unless we want you to think we are, which is seldomly not the case. Are we going to be back next week, Bill? Hopefully?
We'll be back next week.
Sweet. I like this music. I feel like I'm in an electronic forest.
Keyboard on blast.
Celebration, Bill. One last time.
Find us on Crossover Radio. Get that app. Also, Excessive Celebration, Facebook.com, and Twitter. Click those links. Check out our clips on SoundCloud. We'd love to hear from you. Any feedback you got, put it in the chat. Put it in the comments.
How about whose tube? Your tube? My tube?
Oh, keep in mind, you'll see it maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. A little video of all the pretty.
Pretty good. See you next week.
That app.